Welcome to all the Capricorn rising signs of our zodiac. We are talking about your astrology for the month of March in this video. Trust you're doing well. I'm Cosmic Girl 101 and I'm going to be talking about all the planets in transits in the month of March for your rising sign. Let's get to it. So the first thing we need to discuss before we get into the dailies of what these planets are doing, we need to talk about your ruling planet Saturn and where it's transiting in the month of March. So some may know this, but some may not. So I am recapping where Saturn is transiting. It's transiting in the zodiac sign of Pisces. Now, because Saturn is so closely associated with you, it's important to know where it's transiting and what it's doing. So your ruling planet Saturn that rules you, how people see you, your sense of self, you feeling this is where I want to inject life. This is what I want to do. Your ruling planet's planted in Pisces in your third house. And that third house for you is a very busy house. So this is a house that's about communication, short distance travel in general, education, and siblings. So those topics and subjects may be near and dear to your heart in the month of March. In fact, your ruling planet Saturn has been here for some time and will continue to do so. So you are potentially feeling quite emotional, quite heightened, quite intuitively aware about your immediate environment and how those intimate relationships with your immediate family are impacting you, if at all, and how you want to potentially create some cohesion, some fun and excitement on a day to day, especially when it comes to anything to do with education. So, this third house is your focus and it is Pisces. So, Pisces is a zodiac sign that likes to immerse itself in many different interests. So you might have many different interests and might find it difficult at times to focus and zone in on a particular path. And I wouldn't be too surprised if that's something that you may be coming up against regarding focus, because Pisces can be very much a zodiac sign that wants to far reach. And that means reach a lot of people, extend a lot of nurturing, compassion, and caring towards others. And sometimes that may have you feeling stretched a little thin. And astrologically speaking, when it comes to Saturn that rules your body, your body might be really going through it, if you will, high highs and low lows of energy and emotional stirrings going on with all the activity and busyness of that third house is a real potential. So if I'm coming towards you as an astrologer, but also a human being for the Capricorn rising signs, I would advise a healthy distance from people that emotionally drain you, where you feel like you're overextending yourself, sacrificing yourself too much for the greater good in your community or with education or with your immediate family. So it's a wonderful way to be compassionate and nurturing and understanding, but at times we can feel very washed over by others' energies, frequencies, and vibrations. So it's important to have self care and healthy distance when you need it for downtime, because that third house is just so busy. Okay, so that's where your planet Saturn, your ruling planet, will continue its transit in Pisces for the month of March. On the 1st of March, planet Venus goes into a retrograde. In fact, she'll be in retrograde for the whole month of March from the 1st, but from the 1st to the 27th, she'll be retrograding in Aries. And then from the 27th of March, moving into April, she'll be retrograding back into Pisces, joining your ruling planet Saturn. So Venus isn't moving far from you. So Venus rules your children, your romantic partnerships and your creative endeavors is never too far from you, really. But from the 1st to the 27th of March, Venus retrogrades evaluation time. What is it that you are really committed to when it comes to your professional life, your achievements that you want to achieve in the public, or where you want to integrate more energy and life force into a personal creative project, for example, or a romantic partnership, or even children. This is all up for contemplation, if you will. And retrograde planets are quite opposite to obviously when they're direct. So Venus can just be Venus, I want, I get, it comes easy to me. This is what I value. But when Venus is retrograde, it's like you've got a confused Venus that's not too sure about the plans well laid. So this can have you second guessing your professional life or your public image or identity. There can be problems with children, or your romantic partnerships could be going through fluctuations, or even things that you want to create or a hobby could be going into reconstruction mode. And that can be frustrating with well laid plans. And then all of a sudden, I just don't know. So, not a particularly easy transit when Venus retrogrades for anyone. But for you, this is happening in your 4th house. So, this is having an effect, if you will, on your foundations, your sense of home, family, your lineage, your heritage, your roots, parents and parenting, property and real estate topics and subjects are the focus, but the knock-on effects coming from your professional life, your public name, children, romantic partnerships, and creative projects seem to be having an impact on your 4th house of solid foundation. On the 3rd, Mercury ingresses into Aries, joining retrograde Venus. And Mercury isn't too far from you either, as Saturn is your ruling planet transiting in Pisces, only in your 3rd house next door to the 4th. So Mercury is ingressing into Aries. It's been in your 3rd house with your ruling planet for some time. And with Mercury in Aries, we have really sharp, quick intellect decisions, communications with money coming on board organically. So great to execute real estate deals, sort out logistics when it comes to paperwork like deeds for homes, conversating, if you will, about your property, the what's that word, Capricorn rising, your property's worth, if you will. So you may be contemplating things like putting a home on the market, ready to sell, maybe considering relocating. All these things are up for grabs when Mercury gets into Aries, but there's high concentration of intellectual pursuits in regards to getting to the bottom of things when it comes to your roots, your lineage, your heritage, your foundations, your family dynamics would be something that's very hyper focused with Mercury in Aries from the 3rd of March. On the 7th of Mars, on the 7th of March, Mars trines the Sun. So Mars is the ruler of that 4th house where Venus and Mercury are retrograding. So Mars in the 7th house of Cancer, your house of relationships, other people, it's heavily focused on others. That's the 7th house. And Mars trines the Sun in Pisces, where your ruling planet Saturn is. So Mars indicates that there might be an easy way, if you will, because a trine is easy, to set a relationship or a contract in motion that has a knock-on effect with your immediate environment, education, or extended family. So expect good news on the 7th of March. On the 11th, we have Mercury conjunct retrograde Venus, and we also see the Sun conjunct your ruling planet Saturn. So this is quite a big day astrologically with these aspects and alignments. So let's talk about Mercury conjunct retrograde Venus first. So Mercury, the mind, and Venus, the heart. And these guys are conjuncting. This is not what you would call an organic matchup, if you will. So this can be difficult conversations regarding home, real estate, and property and family affairs. This also indicates that there could be a return, if you will, of a old family problem or a problem in the home that really isn't going away, and there needs to be a new path forward. So expect some difficulties or hiccups to come along when it comes to the family and home. Then that indicates that something needs to be discussed, and it could have a monetary or financial aspect to it. The same day, the sun then conjuncts your ruling planet. Okay, so this is a big day. This sets off a new synodic cycle with the sun and Saturn. So for you, the sun is the ruler of Leo, and Leo is connected to your eighth house of other people's resources. It's the house where we have the denser things of life that are necessary that we all experience at some time, which is debt, tax, inheritance, and death. And that's the house of the sun, Leo. So when the sun conjuncts your ruling planet on the 11th, this indicates that there might be some news about inheritance, a financial opportunity comes towards you from another person's resource. This could be a partner getting a contract, or they get their inheritance, for example, on the 11th of March. But it does start a new synodic cycle. So this also can, for the Capricorn rising signs, indicate that finances and other people's resources are improving the third house, which is potentially extended family members, something to do with education, or short distance travel. So something's changing, like a changing of the guard is happening here. And it's conjuncting your ruling planet. So you are factored into this heavily, whether you are the recipient of receiving financial benefits or you are getting a grant or a loan. This is also a big possibility on the 11th of March. Okay, moving on to the 13th, Uranus sextiles the sun. So this could be out of the blue news coming from children or a romantic partnership that throws you for six, but it can be a positive throw you for 6 day on the 13th, because it's certainly going to inject a sense of unity amongst family members, education, or short distance travel. So a child could say, I'm coming to visit, that hasn't visited for a while. Or a romantic partner says, you wouldn't believe it, I've got an educational contract, or I'm going on a short trip and you're coming with me. Something surprising, and we'll take the surprises considering the density of the planets in transit in the month of March. So expect a really nice surprise on the 13th. Moving along, on the 14th, we have our first eclipse of the month, and this is a total lunar eclipse in Virgo, and this is your ninth house. Okay. Big day, big deal. First eclipse of 2025 and the first eclipse of March, because there's two. So a total lunar eclipse indicates a full moon phase, but it is eclipse. It is an eclipse, excuse me. So lunar eclipses have a little bit more depth to them than just, oh, it's a full moon. This is the result. This is the completion. This is the success point. Whilst that may be true, the lunar themes are really highlighted with an eclipse. So this ninth house of long distance travel, foreign people, places and faces, higher education, legalities, bureaucracies, spirituality and philosophy, that's your ninth house. This is the house of expansion and growth. It's the house of God. So when you have that lunar eclipse in Virgo, this indicates that there could be a change of residence, a change of environment connected to those topics and subjects. And considering that the ninth house is opposed to that third house where your ruling planet is situated, this could be a extended family member that is moving internationally. They get an educational opportunity. They are going on a new spiritual path, or they have a legal proceeding that's quite lucrative for them, for example, or even extended families have a legal proceeding that's quite fruitful for them. The outcome is beneficial. So that lunar eclipse is all about things that are in full bloom. So think of that lunar eclipse in the ninth house for you, just lighting it up. And it's like, this is where all of the opportunity is. This is the environment that you might want to be more engaged with, if you will. It's like a shining light going, check this house out. Look at all the opportunity. Look at what can happen here. And there very well could be a mother involved with this lunar eclipse on the 14th. Whether a mother has some success or a mother has big news, this will be the day that it drops, if you will, on the 14th of March. But in your ninth house, it certainly looks like it's going to be about something to do with systems or education or study or being a teacher or a mentor is what I'm getting in regards to this lunar eclipse on the 14th for you. You might have some fabulous educational opportunities come to pass, or at least you end a journey regarding education is also a possibility on the 14th. Moving on to the 15th, Mercury retrogrades in Aries in your 4th house. And we know that retrogrades indicate setbacks, delays, and changes of the heart. But this is changes of the mind. Mercury is intellectual, and changes going on with finances in the family home or with real estate and property topics. So Mercury might have really had you motoring in regards to give me the paperwork, give me the deeds, let me know the details. What have I got? What haven't I got? How much is my house worth? Etc. Etc. Put the house on the market, and then Mercury retrogrades, and it's like waiting time. Waiting time. So expect things to start to even out. You've done what you've needed to do, and now Mercury retrograde needs to do its magic. On the 19th, the Sun conjuncts Neptune. This indicates that there could be something ending in regards to education, short distance travel plans, or a extended family member ends a phase in their experience. So this is quite a poignant day on the 19th. On the 20th, it's the spring equinox beginning in the northern hemisphere, and the autumn equinox begins in the southern hemisphere. So a change of season. Wherever you are on our gorgeous planet, enjoy the equinox. And when we do have the equinox beginning, it is always when the sun ingresses into Aries, and this is your 4th house for 4 weeks. And the sun is really quite happy in the 4th house. And it also on the 20th is the beginning of the astrological new year. So happy new year to all you astrology enthusiasts out there. Why is it an astrological new year? If you don't know, when the sun ingresses into Aries at the 0 degrees, that is the first degree of the zodiac wheel, and that is Aries, and that is the new year. So happy New Year's Day on the 20th. Okay, let's talk about the sun in Aries. Now, we've got to consider the fact that the sun rules the 8th house of other people's resources, debt, tax, and inheritance. It's exalted in Aries in your 4th house of home, family, real estate, and property. Big chances of windfalls, big chances of other people's resources really supporting family. Inheritances is also indicated here. I'm not going to rule that out, that you might be the recipient of an inheritance payout, or a partner may be. that improves the home dynamic regarding potentials to relocate or upgrade your actual dwelling. So enjoy the sun ingressing into Aries. It's going to be wonderful for all of us, but in your house of foundation, looks really, really nice. Okay, so after the 20th of March, it gets really silly with so much activity. So let's get into it. On the 21st, retrograde Venus sextiles Pluto. And so this could be recovering an asset or a possession or finances that support you in a very lucrative way. Expect good news on the 21st financially and may have a knock-on effect with your work or a child. On the 23rd, the Sun in Aries conjuncts retrograde Venus, indicating resuscitation of life force regarding romantic partnerships, children, creative endeavors, and employment. On the 27th, retrograde Venus ingresses back into Pisces, her zodiac sign of exaltation, your third house, and conjuncts Neptune. This is again ending or disintegrating a contract or agreement regarding education. Could be an extended family member going through this or a change in travel plans. Things can't all happen at once, and I think there's too much happening in your fourth house, and I would understand if you have to cancel a trip on the 27th of March. On the 29th, retrograde Mercury ingresses back into Pisces, your third house, joining your ruling planet and Venus and the North Node and Neptune. So Mercury now backtracking into your third house indicates finances and exchanges and documents and communications really need to be tied up with a red bow, going over details you may have missed or opportunities you may have missed regarding short distance travel, education, or information from extended family members. The same day on the 29th, we have our second eclipse of March, and that is a partial solar eclipse in Aries in your fourth house. Again, that fourth house is a focus for you as well as the third house. So when you have a solar eclipse happening in Aries in the fourth house, this indicates something to do potentially with fathers, leaders, so inheritances, financial help from powerful people that have other resources. Again, inheritance from a father is what I'm getting for Capricorn rising signs potentially. Or there is a brand new beginning happening in that fourth house. And again, it could be relocation, a new family member. There could also be a new family secret revealed coming on the page, coming across your docket, if you will. So solar eclipses are very powerful new beginnings. They're new moons, but they're new moons that really pack a punch. So this is in it's an angular part of your chart, Capricorn rising. So this is nothing to sneeze at when you have a solar eclipse in Aries. And it's quite powerful. So this is about maybe being the leader of a family, taking someone's hand and stepping up to the plate, being more of the patriarch or matriarch in your family dynamic, and taking control of real estate and property concerns, or just things in the home connected to parents and parenting. So quite an interesting eclipse coming up for you on the 29th, Capricorn rising. On the 30th, retrograde Mercury conjuncts Neptune. This indicates a disintegration, if you will, of an idea or paperwork that you thought was gone and all of a sudden it appears. So expect a recovery of information, communication, or a financial opportunity on the 30th. The same day on the 30th, Saturn, your ruling planet, agrees with Uranus in Taurus. So there is a shaking of hands, signing on the dotted line, putting a ring on it on this day when it comes to short distance travel, education, or with extended family members that influences your creative pursuits, endeavors, children, or romantic partnerships. Expect good news. And you may be the key protagonist here, delivering good news to children or a romantic partnership or injecting more energy into a project. So this looks lovely on the 30th. And the last thing that happens on the 30th is Neptune ingressing into Aries. Yes, your 4th house. Okay, I'm just going to have a drink. So Neptune's been in Pisces since 2011 in your 3rd house. And it's going to ingress into Aries, and Neptune hasn't been in the zodiac sign of Aries for 165 years. So this is quite a big deal when we're talking about planets in transit. So Neptune will be in Aries, your 4th house, from the 30th of March until the 5th of July before it goes into a retrograde in Aries. And you guessed it, it will be retrograding back into Pisces, your 3rd house. So all is not said and done when it comes to the 3rd house topics being tied up and set up with a nice red bow regarding short distance travel, education, and siblings, your extended family. But Neptune in Aries is going to be a very different planet to Neptune in Pisces for sure. Aries is a cardinal yang fire zodiac sign. It's all about the action now. I want. Let's go. Let's strategize. Let's get it. Let's go for what we want. It is a Mars ruled zodiac sign. Mars is all about action, conflict, and war. No BS. So when Neptune gets into fiery, martial Aries zodiac sign in your 4th house, Neptune is certainly going to have a task in regards to keeping up the inspiration and creativity in harmonizing with the 4th house topics of family, your home, your heritage, your lineage, your roots, your strong foundations, real estate and property concerns, parents and parenting. So Neptune can be inspirational, it can be creative, it can be mystical and dreamy and otherworldly. And it can also be foggy, hazy, lazy, fair weather, dissolves into nothing. And in your 4th house, that can be a little bit gulpish, if you will. But what I do like about Neptune, even though all of those significations of that planet and the characteristics of Neptune are quite obvious, we're talking about Neptune in an Aries, in a Mars zodiac sign, which isn't interested in fantasy and illusion. It just wants to execute, strategize, and go for it. But Neptune's certainly going to have a task for Mars when when Neptune's transiting in Aries, Mars' zodiac sign. So this indicates from the 30th of March to the 5th of July, before Neptune goes retrograde here, consider this like a soft opening. You're repainting the home, family dynamics are changing, but at least there's action now, if you will, that is setting the stage for a longer term trend come 2026 when Neptune permanently anchors itself in the 4th house of Aries. So practically, what would I consider talking about your astrology Capricorn rising with Neptune in Aries is beautiful, amazing moments with family members, real estate opportunities that are almost otherworldly. Can you believe I got the deal on that house? Potentially traveling, world travel, Neptune in Aries in your 4th house. World travel, you may be welcoming foreigners into your home. You may be doing things like home exchange with expats or people overseas, like billeting, hosting internationals in your home. You being in the internationals home, for example, with a Neptune in Aries is certainly not off the radar either. So enjoy Neptune in Aries from the 30th of March to July 5th. So that's your astrology for the month of March, Capricorn rising. A lot to process, a lot to chew over. I do understand, but it's such a active month astrologically with all the celestial bodies doing what they're doing. It's absolutely insane. But that is my take on your astrology for the month of March. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below. Till next time, Capricorn rising, stay cosmic.